I remember when Marvel went from making 2 movies a year to 3. Everyone was saying, "Whoa, slow down, how could we possibly keep track of all that content?" Well, those days are long gone. What with movies, Disney Plus shows and one-off specials, there were 9 Marvel productions this year, and this is my attempt to put them in some sort of order. A few notes first. I'm not counting Morbius. Much as I would like this list to be a top 10, it's not really part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and more importantly, I haven't seen it. Yes, I'm a fan, but there are limits. Also, I have reviewed many of these at the time they came out, so check out the description for links to those. Right, on with the countdown. At 9, I Am Groot. These are just 5 little short cartoons, each one about 3 minutes long. One of the best jokes comes at the start, as Groot fast forwards through the Marvel logo. Unfortunately, he doesn't do the same for the end credits, which are 2.5 minutes long. But skip these and you're left with a delightful series of shorts, full of fun physical comedy. You can easily imagine them airing in cinemas before one of the movies. Maybe not Wakanda Forever, it's not really the same tone. Kids will love it. For everyone else, it's a pleasant enough way to spend 15 minutes. At 8, Thor Love and Thunder. I'm surprised this one came out so low, as I love Thor Ragnarok, and I really like Taika Waititi's vibe in general. But this was rather disappointing. The comedy isn't as good, Thor's arc is just more of the same, which makes the big scene in the middle full of gods a bit pointless. Natalie Portman tries her best, but her super serious arc is at odds with the irreverent tone of the rest of the movie. Frankly, I don't know how it could have worked, but it seems the director had no idea either. At 7, Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas Special. This was really an extended advert for the next Guardians movie, to be honest, but it's still a lot of fun. Drax and Mantis get most of the screen time, probably because the rest of the cast are too expensive. But they're great characters, and it's good to see their dynamic being explored some more. The story itself is wafer thin. There's no bad guy, it's just a silly romp, but that does make a nice change. Kevin Bacon plays himself, and he doesn't have to humiliate himself too much. A few of the characters talk about how they hate actors, but nobody makes fun of Bacon's back catalogue of movies, which seems a missed opportunity. He's clearly just there for the chance to play his music. Speaking of which, the soundtrack is excellent. James Gunn clearly has the same taste in Christmas songs as I do, and I'll certainly be playing it over the next few weeks. In fact, the only problem with this holiday special is it came out a whole month before Christmas, which is far too early if you ask me. At 6, She-Hulk. This was advertised as a lawyer show with superhero elements, but it's really a comedy show first, superhero show second, and a lawyer show dead last. Shows like Suits and Boston Legal managed to balance the humour and lawyer aspects better, so they really should have brought in some writers from those shows. But the comedy does work very well. I love all the little moments of meta-humour scattered throughout the episodes, although the fourth wall breaking did get a bit self-indulgent in the finale. And Tatiana Maslany is excellent in the lead role, both as Jennifer Walters and as She-Hulk, which certainly helps make up for some of the visual effects not being quite as good as you might expect from the movies. But story-wise, a lot of the episodes were so light they barely had any substance at all, and the best episodes were the ones where she teamed up with male superheroes like the Hulk or Daredevil, which is maybe not the feminist message they wanted to send out. At 5, Werewolf by Night. This was the Halloween special, all in black and white, and aping the style of a classic monster movie from the 40s or 50s. The werewolf elements were maybe not that great, but the fact that we got a live-action Man-Thing more than made up for it. And Laura Donnelly as Elsa Bloodstone gave an excellent performance. Hopefully this is just the first of many, otherwise I'll have to rewatch it again next Halloween. At 4, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Sam Raimi is a great director, but this maybe wasn't a great fit for him. There's certainly some of the horror elements he's known for, and plenty of comedy in there as well, but there's a lot of stuff crammed in there and it doesn't all work. Elizabeth Olsen being the main villain, right after her TV show was all about her character not being a villain, was rather jarring and never really felt right. But the few multiverses we got to see were a lot of fun. They just could have done a lot more with that sort of thing. The film Everything Everywhere All at Once may have had a much lower budget, but it worked much better, both as a multiverse movie and as an excellent movie in its own right. At 3, Black Panther Wakanda Forever. When I reviewed this just a few weeks ago, I would not have thought I'd end up rating this so high. But looking back, it probably was the best Marvel movie of the year. All three of them are sequels, but this was the only one that had a real emotional heart to it. Probably because of the real-life death of the original star, which hangs over the whole production. There was still a lot going on, with lots of new characters being introduced into the MCU. But Ryan Coogler managed to give it a much more grounded tone, setting it above the other two movies. At 2, Ms. Marvel. I've been a big fan of the comic version since the beginning, and although this wasn't a direct translation, plenty of new elements come in as part of the inevitable adaptation process. But the heart of the character just shone through. Iman Vellani is clearly a star in the making, and her supporting cast populate the New Jersey location and make it feel real. The bad guys are the only real weak point. They obviously didn't want to use any of the weirder villains from the comics, and just made up their own, which never really feel like much of a threat. But apart from that, it was an excellent show, and hopefully there'll be more to come. And my number one pick of Marvel in 2022 is Moon Knight. Now, back when I had 0 subscribers, I made a video about every single episode of Moon Knight, which may explain why I had 0 subscribers. There's no other show this year that drew me into analysing every single episode, not even Andor or House of the Dragon, though I did love both of those. I guess part of it was the mystery. It kept you guessing what was going on from week to week. So there was plenty to talk about, but mainly it was just an extremely good show. Oscar Isaac deserves all the awards going for his many roles. Going from mild-mannered museum creator to ruthless assassin. And Ethan Hawke is almost as good, going from an insane cult leader to a laid-back psychiatrist. The scope of the show is noteworthy as well, with every episode taking you to a new continent or even another level of existence. Plus, it had a talking hippo, so really, it deserves the top spot just for that. So it's been an interesting year for Marvel. In general, I preferred the Disney Plus shows, as they brought something new to this universe, while the movies mainly just gave us one more outing for familiar characters. Wakanda Forever was the only one that tried something new, and that was only because they had to. Hopefully the movies will try harder going forward. Speaking of which, next week I'll be previewing all the Marvel movies and TV shows that are coming out in 2023. And there's a lot of those, so hopefully next year I can finally do a top 10. So subscribe if you want to see that, and hopefully I'll see you soon.